What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes here, back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at none other than the SH Figuarts Berserk Griffith Hawk of Light. I believe that's what that says. Yeah, Hawk of Light. And I'm a little bit earlier getting to this figure review than I was Guts, so I'm pretty excited. In my opinion, this figure looks leagues better than that one, but of course time will tell. Let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the sexy packaging. Now, normally I like to show off the sexy packaging, but this time around the box is just too damn big, and I'm sure you guys don't want to see me hitting the camera a million times as I try to finagle with it. But to give you guys a gauge of how big the box is, here it is sitting next to the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta box, and as you can see, it's probably 5 or 6 of these if you compare not just the length and the width, but the overall depth of the packaging. Now, when it comes to the look of it, it has this blue all over it, and it's almost like ocean-ish colors, and then you have this very dope art style on the front. It's not the figure itself, it's actually, it looks like it was sketched out, and it looks so sick, man. I'm really digging this. But then, of course, on the sides, you've got a couple images of the figure, and then on the back, you can get some poses. And then you do have all the Tamashii Nations, Bandai, Berserk logos. Griffith, the Hawk of Light, is written on there, and then you got the window where you can see the figure. So, yeah, pretty much, I just figured it'd be easier to show you guys images versus trying to spin this package around. But anyway, without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and bust this figure out of the packaging. Now, when this figure first went up for pre-order, I honestly debated on if I was going to get it or not, just because the horse that he comes with made this thing so expensive. And when I got the package in hand, I was like, yo, why is this thing so huge? Then I opened it and I saw just how big the horse was. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy, because I'm from the country. I used to ride horses. I ain't never seen no horse this big. This is a discolored baby giraffe. Now, granted, I'm sure it's accurate to the anime, but it's a big-ass horse. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. This thing is standing way taller than him. Again, I'm pretty sure it's accurate, but to be honest, I just wanted the figure. I didn't really care about the horse. I'm not going to do nothing with this. It's going back into packaging. But I got to say, man, straight up, first opinions on this guy right out of the packaging, I like it more than Guts. I really do, man. I can't say that they fixed all of the issues that Guts had, because there's definitely some that are here as well. But in terms of just an overall good looking figure, I think this guy looks better, man. And Guts was a very good looking figure, so let's not try to take that away from it. But this guy looks like, if I was playing a game of Berserk, this is the character I would choose over Guts. He just looks so dope. And I stayed away from my research to purposely give you guys a full, non-biased review. But since everyone's been at my neck about it, I am going to check out Berserk as soon as I'm done with this review. That's what I'm going to do the rest of my weekend. But anyway, not to dive too far away from the figure, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Griffith himself, and then we'll take a look at the miniature giraffe. Now, taking a closer look at this guy, unlike Guts, who has more of a, I guess, manly, masculine look to him, Griffith definitely has more a feminine persona, kinda. I don't know, maybe that makes sense. Hopefully you guys don't think I'm tripping, but I don't know, he just doesn't look like what I've seen from other characters in the show that look all torn up and like they've been through a lot. This guy just kind of looks like he sits on a throne somewhere, and whoever approaches him, he challenges them and wins. Because I think this is like the big baddie of the series. I don't know. You guys can tell me in the comments, but let me stop before people start getting triggered and hitting up my comment section. The hair on this guy looks amazing. I really love the sculpt. There's a ton of blue shading in there that gives it this really dope pop to it. The cape, it's okay. It's a very thick material, but it works in terms of posing, so that's one thing that I'm happy about. I do wish they would have went with more of like a thinner look, but I'm okay with this. It doesn't look bad. It's definitely double layered. You can see purple and white, and that's probably how they had to do it. Now, he does have these little pins right here that pin the cape onto the armor. They're like feathers. They look really good, and then they're gold. I love that a lot. Even though I like silver more, a little bit of gold sprinkled on top of silver looks so good. And then the purple just brings it all out from the cape, so I'm loving this. The figure has a bit of a shine to it. There's a ton of sculpting detail here. You've got the straps right here at the waist. These look like they're glued on. One of the belts actually is sculpted, and I think one of them is... Nah, this is actually all one piece. Okay, this is just more of a floaty piece right here. Still looks really good. All the way down to the feet, man. He's got the spurs. I don't really care for those, but I mean, obviously, it's a part of the design of the character, but I don't really care for him. And then he's got the same issue as Guts, and I'm pretty sure by now it's got to be a design choice, but the flat feet, man, they are like so flat. I don't really care for that at all. I don't like it. It's a personal thing. I'm not going to say it's a nitpick or it's anything bad about the figure at all. I just don't personally like it. And then his arms kind of look a little long as well, just like Guts. But I was told that that was also based on an artistic design. So overall, he's a good looking figure, man. Proportion wise, I'm not going to say anything about it because if it's based on the art of the author, you can't really talk about it. I mean, it is what it is. That's how it's supposed to be. So, very, very good looking figure. Again, I am really liking this one more than Guts, almost by a long shot. Now, when it comes to the height of this figure, to the top of his head, he's literally right at about 6 inches, which is standard scale for an SH Figuarts. Now, let's go ahead and see how tall Horsey stands. Now, for the height of Horsey, to the very top of his ear right here, he's almost 8.5 inches tall. 8 inches to the top of his head. So definitely a big ass horse. And what's crazy is with all this like material he's got on, it kind of looks like a llama. I don't know. I've went from giraffe to horsey, and now I think we're gonna call it llama. I better quit before people get mad at me, but it looks like a llama. Like, the more I look at it, I see a llama. So, yeah. Anyway, let's take an up-close look at llama as well. Now, unlike Griffith, the llama horse giraffe actually looks like it has a lot of sculpted detail on here, but it definitely feels cheap in comparison to him. Like, as you can see, there's a ton of detail on the mask right here, but it still looks very simply sculpted. All the way up to the ears, you can see that they're kind of tucked into the back of this armor. You've got his eye right there. You've got some hooks, and it hooks into this little material that connects. I don't know. I guess he wanted his steed to look very armored. Even this little gold material right here going all the way down to the seat of the horse, it just looks very plain. Now, I'm not going to say it looks bad, but again, it's just not nearly as detailed as the figure itself. The armor on the back, then you've got the tail. The tail is probably where they put in the most sculpted detail on this. This little material right here covering the llama horse giraffe is kind of, I don't know, man. It definitely could have used some shading. This is something I can tell right now. Once it gets dirty, it's a wrap. And the more you touch it, fingerprints are going to get all on this. It's going to turn very brown if you're going to stand this on your shelf. So just be wary of that. And then all the way down to the ankles, I mean, it looks to be a pretty strong giraffe. So it's cool. Not a whole lot going on here. And I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. I don't think anyone bought this for the giraffe. Like, I don't know, comment below, tell me if you bought this for the giraffe. I want to know. You guys let me know. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it looks cool, but it's going back in the package now. I'm done with this thing. Now, I forgot to mention this, but the giraffe doesn't have any kind of articulation, which is another reason I put it back in the package. There's pretty much nothing else I need to show off with him. But on to Griffith. As you can see, his hair is on a hinge, so you can get it in those blowing poses, which is kind of going to help with the looking up. I do want to say there's no kind of articulation for these little strands of hair here. Sadly, once you have him looking up, they are going to sit up also. Same when looking down. Once you tilt his head down, they are just going to sit flat against the chest or armored shoulders. You can't get him to look down very far just because of all the armor he's wearing, but he can be very expressive. You can maneuver that head around just fine. When it comes to the arms, I'm thinking it's going to be about the same thing as with Guts, you're not going to be able to get them to go out very far without them popping off just because of the armored piece. But it does, let's see if I can get it to pop back in there. Hopefully it will. I don't want to have to deal with popping off issues during this segment, and I'm going to try to keep this so you guys will know exactly what to expect. Actually, I want to show you this. This shoulder piece right here is on a ball peg, so let's see. If you take that off, it'll probably make it easier to pop this back in. Yeah, there we go. So anyway, without the shoulder piece, you can get the arms to go out about that much. This one doesn't have the wing attached to the side, so you can get it to go up a little bit more, but just like the other, it is going to pop off, and that's to be expected. When you're forcing plastic that isn't supposed to move in a certain direction, it's going to pop. Now, they do come inward very, very far, so those sword swinging poses are not going to be a problem at all. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that are pretty effective, and I love how they worked around this armored piece at the elbow. That is really dang good, and you can maneuver the hands behind the head and everything in case you want to get him in those relaxed poses. He doesn't look like he's the type to relax, but let me not say that. I need to stop saying stuff that's going to make Berserk fans go off. Someone might just be like, all he does is sit on the throne. But anyway, his hands are on the Figma hinge as well, just like Guts, which he has a very thin sword, so that's not really going to pose a problem with him. You can maneuver them around just fine. They move very, very well. Not much hindrance at all. Now, when it comes to the torso, there is really not a diaphragm joint. It's just the upper and lower piece, which is probably connected by a double ball peg, and as you can see, it moves fine. That is really damn good, man. I love that. He can crunch forward about that much. He can lean back very far, all without a diaphragm joint. So that just goes to show that even with one single torso piece, you can get figures to move forward very well. Meaning, once we get that 2.0 Madara figure from the Naruto line, this is the engineering we better get, man. He better be able to move just like this. Anyway, off of Naruto. He kicks forward. A lot of popping off here. But I am pushing it as far as I can, so it's my fault. But he kicks forward about that much, which is great. He doesn't really kick back because they kind of like halfway sculpted some hips. You can get it to go back about that much. The legs go out all the way until the armor begins to rub against each other. And I mean, you can't really expect any more than that. So that's cool. At the knees, they are double jointed. That's definitely the best part of articulation. I thought it was going to be a little bit more limited. That's really good, actually. That is dope. Love that. So that's really good there. At the ankles, he does have ankle rocker. Foot goes up about that much, down about that much, and he does have really good toe hinge. So articulation, the only limitations are going to come out of the arms, and just like I said with Guts, there's really nothing you can do about that because it is the design of the character, and Tamashii Nations had to go with accuracy, otherwise people would be complaining. So it's cool. It works very well. For the most part, you'll be able to pose this guy however you want. And because I forgot to mention it, he does also have really good thigh swivel as well. So yeah, the legs move around just fine. Now, when it comes to accessories, you don't get a whole lot with this guy, but you get a decent amount. First off, he comes out of the packaging with a neutral head sculpt and a pair of relaxed hands. Then you also get these like palming type hands for whatever reason. I don't know what they're for. Then you get a pair of sword gripping hands. As you can see, the fingers are together. And then he does come with one extra hand. I'm guessing this is also for the sword. It's kind of like he has it pointing outward, and this is just for the left hand. Now, when it comes to the face plates, you get two. You get this one that kind of has a smirk on it. I really like this one. And then you get the one where his bangs are a little bit more flat. And this is obviously for when you attach this faceplate to the helmet here, which looks really damn good. And you can get the helmet to lift up also, so you can have his face kind of peeking out just before he goes into battle. So that's dope. He comes with some extra straps that connect to the saddle of the horse. So that's cool as well. He comes with this, this is the hilt to his sword, and this is the one that you just kind of plug into the sheath right here. And then of course you get the unsheathed sword, which It looks cool, but it's pretty plain. I don't know what he's gonna do with this thing up against Griffith or Guts. That's crazy, man. To even battle Guts with this, like, how do you expect to win? But I'm pretty sure he got some W's under his belt. Now he does come with this extra piece right here that attaches to the hilt of the sword. I don't know what this is about. Like, what do you need this for? But basically, what you do is you peg it in here, and then you just kind of push, and then there it goes. So it hides his hand. Maybe it protects his hand. That's kind of cool. That's lit if that's what it's for. Most people wouldn't even think of that as a swordman, so that's dope. And then last but not least, he comes with another hair piece, which is kind of wavy. Let's see what it looks like in comparison to the original. It looks almost the same. So maybe this is just in case it breaks, like the SH Figuarts Yamcha. If you guys remember, this piece on the SH Figuarts Yamcha would break on a lot of people, and so maybe they included an extra just for the heck of it. But it's not as curly at the bottom, so I don't know. Maybe this is for something different. Maybe it's when it's blowing in the wind. I don't know. But still, you get another one just in case something happens to this one. Moving on to size comparisons, here he is standing next to the SH Figuarts Guts, which is obviously the one that matters the most, and these two look really damn good together. And now I'm starting to second guess which one of these figures looks better, because Guts does look extremely badass, so I don't know. Both of these figures look great, though. Next up, here he is standing next to a couple of shonen protagonists from the SH Figuarts line. We have him standing next to the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball CGI Goku, the SH Figuarts Jujutsu Kaisen Greatness Yuji Itadori, and of course the SH Figuarts One Piece Monkey D. Luffy. Here he is standing next to a couple of Figmas. We have the Figma Boku no Hero Academia or My Hero Academia Deku, the Figma Jujutsu Kaisen Greatness Honored One Satoru Gojo, and the Figma Haikyuu Shoyo Hinata. Last but not least, for some extras, here he is standing next to the Metacom toy or Mafex Black Suit Spider-Man, a Jada toy Street Fighter Chun-Li, and a Revoltech Kyoto Revoltech My Hero Academia All Might. Now, when it comes to my final thoughts on this figure, I gotta say, it's definitely another one that's worth picking up if you are a fan of Berserk, because if you like the characters, then more than likely you're going to enjoy it. And they're really fun to mess around with as long as you are aware of the limitations that you have. Most of them are just going to stem from the arms, and based on the design and the art style of the character, it only makes sense. You can't expect a figure to do something that is going to break the laws of action figure aesthetics. It just isn't going to happen. And so as long as you're aware of those, then I can assure you, you're going to have fun with these figures. They obviously look great. The proportions are a little bit off in my opinion, but that's something that I cannot judge just because, again, it's done based on art style. So that's something that I have to take back about my comments from the Guts review. It was done completely accurate, and I even saw the image that it was based on, and so it makes sense. And I'm pretty sure it's the same with this guy. Now, I do want to say one mistake I made was saying that the pigtails are not articulated. They actually are. They plug into the side of the faceplates, and make sure. Yeah, you see the little hole right there? That's exactly where they're going to go. So you can make them kind of hinge up and down. Even though it's not a hinge, it's going to work like one. So that's going to help with that articulation. Hopefully they'll continue making decisions like that going forward with characters who have like really long pigtails and things that when they look up, their hair just kind of sits and it sticks out. So that would have been a great idea to try on characters like the SH Figuarts Yor from Spy Family and maybe some others. But overall, it's a solid figure. I mean, I dig it. I don't like the horse. I could have lived without that. And I really wish they would have just released the standard version. But more than likely, people would have just gone with that one and saved themselves 30, 40 bucks instead of it getting a statue that really doesn't do anything. Now, I get it. It's probably something that is very essential to the character. But for people like me, I just didn't need it. So, yeah, overall, solid figure. Hope that you guys enjoyed this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.